Okay, so this is our project 3.1.3 that William and I created. Our contact info is given at the bottom in case there are any questions or concerns. So the first thing we did was create a social contract and set rules in order to work together as effectively as possible. This slide explains the purpose of our project. Our overall goal was to create a Python program that lets users select meal choices from a combo menu. The program guides the user through different options and builds a meal based on their input. This slide goes over our main goals for our project. Our goal was to practice basic coding skills using Python, like writing simple code and getting input from the user. Another one of our goals was to build and test our program step by step so we could catch mistakes early on. We wanted to be able to create it independently so we could better understand the code. This slide explains how we plan to use different data types in our code. We used things like strings to store the names of food items and sizes, and floats to handle prices and calculate totals. We also used dictionaries to store information like food sizes and the prices, so everything stayed organized. Booleans were used to check yes or no decisions, like whether an item was included or if a price should be added or taken away. Overall, using different data types helped the program work correctly and made the code easier to manage. This slide explains how we planned to use conditionals in our code. We knew the program would need a lot of if-else and elif statements to handle different choices the user makes. These conditionals help decide things like which items are added, how the price changes, or which option the program goes to next. So basically, conditionals are what allow the program to react differently based on user input and connect different parts of the code together. This slide shows how our program improves over time. Each iteration adds more choices, starting with just a sandwich and then adding drinks, fries, and ketchup. This helps us build the program step by step instead of doing everything at once. This slide shares our thoughts on structuring the code. For idea 1, we thought about having each part of the food-related code as its own function. This would help organize things and make the program easier to manage. One problem, though, is it could also mean writing more code, which might make it harder to debug later. So, as you can see, we used a decision matrix to decide between the two ideas. Overall, we decided to use idea 2 because it scored better. We used AI like ChatGPT or Grok in order to help us solve problems we had while coding. This slide shows our step-by-step final plan. We started with just picking a sandwich and showing the price, then added drinks with sizes, then fries, and finally ketchup packets, so by the last version, you could order everything and get the right total. This slide shows all the variables we used in our code, like total price, which starts at 0 and adds up everything, then tables for the sandwich types, drink sizes, fry sizes, and ketchup packets, plus variables that remember what the user actually picked, like selected sandwich or selected beverage, so the program knows what to charge for. So here's our actual combo menu with all the things you can order. You would input these into the program and get different results. This slide shows our pseudocode, which is basically just a step-by-step outline of what the program does. Again, this is basically just the outline for our code. So this is our flowchart. It helps show decision points and how the program moves based on user choices. This slide shows our Gantt chart, so basically just a timeline of our project. It helped us organize tasks, split up the work, and stay on schedule. So this was basically just our very first planning stage. This was our first and simplest version of the code. As we went on, we changed up and added a few things. These slides show our complete and final version of the code. This slide shows how we used comments to organize our code and explain what each section does. They helped us stay on track and made the code easier to understand. These slides show our debug chart, which we use to track errors and fixes in our code. It helped us debug more efficiently and improve the program. So these are our evaluations. So this wraps up our presentation. Again, for questions or concerns, our contact info is on the first slide.